So, good morning guys, I'm joined here with Nathan Wilkins from CITB. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm really good.
And then also I'm joined with the famous Nikki from OB1. How you doing, Nikki? How you doing? So, massive thank you to you guys for joining us today, because it's like really super cool to have you both here, because obviously we're massively involved with you with the colleges, getting involved with that, promoting the product, because it's just an amazing product. And also, Nathan, massive thank you for you coming here, because obviously a lot of people have a lot of apprehension about CITB. So we're going to dismiss all that today. We're going to get into the nitty gritty. So yeah, thank you guys. Nikki, tell me a little bit about yourself, and obviously tell the viewers how long you've been in the industry and what it's all about, really.
Okay, so I've been part of OB1 for just over 4 years now, and what we do is that we have a team on the road, technical demonstrators, and we go out to all our customers, builders, merchants, national decorators, all your independents, and we share the product knowledge with them and show the customers live demonstrations, so we can help sell the product and share knowledge.
That's brilliant. Now, obviously, one of the big things why OB1, we started working with OB1 is because they're really into educating the youth of today and supporting us doing that actual journey in our life and business. So you came up with this great brainchild of the colleges, didn't you? I mean, when you told me about it, I was super excited and I thought it was really cool. So explain what's that all about?
We were looking at ideas of how we could share the technology and knowledge further afield than customers in the builders, merchants and that. And we was looking at where to focus, and we were thinking about students, construction colleges, because these students, they're learning the trades, all different trades that we can support with to help them be ready, prepared for the real world. So you've got your level 1, your level 2, and then you've got your apprentices. So your apprentices, they have part-time jobs.
Yeah, they do, that's right.
Yeah, so they're all using these different products. And when we go into the colleges, we show them different technologies. We find out whether they know the difference between a sealant, a silicone and a cork, and what you would use each one to do. So once we find out what they know, we then fill the gaps of what they don't know. Because some of these students haven't even used a sealant gun.
Yeah, that's true, because like some of the colleges when I've been joining you guys, it's really enlightening to see when we're actually explaining what the actual gun's about, then obviously the adhesive and having to use the actual gun and stuff like that. You can see that, this is really cool, because they're actually being taught something, aren't they, which is really exciting to see, that like kind of first students are embracing that and having a go, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and we make it fun. So we get onto the students' level, so we're not talking at them. And we go through the technologies on a basic level, and then after that it's just all fun hands-on playtime. So they can get used to the products, have a play. A lot of students really get competitive whether they can do the most perfect bead. And there's also been some squeaky bum moments as well, where one student was playing with the OB41 contact adhesive spray, and he wanted to see how strong it really is. Really? And wondered whether he could stick his hands together. We then spent about half an hour after that trying to unstick his hands with the OB41 multi-surface cleaner and the paint and varnish remover.
So you have disclaimers now to do that. So how did OB1 evolve? Tell me about that.
Right, okay, so it was roughly in about January 2020. The product was born by business development manager Martin McAleenan. So we came up with this idea and it was born. So if you think about it, in 2020 it was still COVID. So, we've been around now for nearly 5 years, and it's evolved dramatically even through hard times.
It has. I mean, just your network now is just huge, isn't it? Over 5 years. I think it's brilliant.
We get figures and stats from leading independent market research companies, and we are the fastest growing hybrid on the market.
That's absolutely super. That's
brilliant. So in 5 years, it's evolved. So, we've gone from 3 products to a whole range of OB1. We've also got the Cyroflex range as well. We're in, so many nationals in the country, independents. And we also look at the technical and training side as well. So I do all the technical stuff. So I'm like your geek. when it comes to different technologies.
Great being a geek.
I love it. You know, when I'm at home, sealant talk is banned because sealant talk is not sexy talk.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's just not stopping, not stopping at all.
That's just great news. So Nathan, tell me about yourself and CITB and how you got into CITB.
Yeah, sure.
So what's your journey been like?
I think first of all, I just can't believe that OB1 is not connected to Star Wars in any way.
Well, actually, they have used that pun occasionally. You know,
okay. Well, that'll be a failed marketing opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Yeah, really interesting to hear the great work that you guys are doing in that college enrichment.
No, it is.
It's really important. Really important. You know, to use a Whitney Houston quote, you know, the children are our future.
Yes, they
you know,
are.
And I believe they're our future. So it's really important that we invest in them. And I think if more you know, merchants and employers can get involved with that those colleges, then we're going to get a much more rounded student coming out the other end.
Definitely.
So, you know, hats off to you guys for doing that work. So, you know, really good to meet you today. But myself, CITB. So I've been with CITB now for 9 years.
You've worn well then, mate.
Yeah, 9 years. So CITB's existed since 1964. So I wasn't there at the start, but I came in 9 years ago. And my journey into CITB actually came through Nottingham City Council, actually.
Oh, wow.
I was at Nottingham City Council. I was one of the employer hub officers working on the Section 106 work, which is all about social value. Yeah. So how do you get social value outcomes through the build phase? And that was all about, you know, putting obligations on developers and contractors for them to be open to accepting apprenticeships and training the workforce. And that was my introduction to the built environment from a professional point of view. And I took a project on which was called the Joint Investment Strategy.
Oh wow, okay.
And that project was jointly invested, between CITB and also Nottingham City Council. Yeah. Had a number of outcomes which were all about, you know, bringing new entrants into the sector and upskilling the workforce from a leadership and management point of view. So it's been an interesting journey. We continue to evolve in terms of how we support the industry. And I believe we've got a really good offer now in terms of how we support businesses. If I had to summarise what we're here for, 100% we're here to support construction businesses. So a lot of businesses that exist within the construction sector are actually small and micro businesses. I think 94% of those businesses are small and micro.
I think the thing is, it's like people have this like I can't think
perception.
of the word now. That's it. Thank you. Perception, of what CITB is about, and obviously. It's really key that we sort of actually realise what CITB is about and what offering they can actually do now, because when I first started in the industry, it was perceived this sort of way, but obviously having a lot more further discussion with you about it, it's sort of definitely thinking actually it's a really good thing to be involved with. Absolutely. So, you know, explain it to the people out there. So
you know, there is a perception out there that CITB are a tax. You know, that, you know, you get involved with CITB and it's going to cost you.
That's what you hear from a lot of construction
and it's going to be a load of paperwork, and it's going to be this onerous task that you have to complete every year, and you're not going to get much out of it. And that could be so far from the truth. You know, and I challenge anyone out there to actually come on that journey with us. So. If you are not CITB registered, or you are registered but not engaged with your CITB advisor, my challenge to you is challenge your advisor to see how they can support you in your business. So we are funded via levy, and the levy is based on your workforce, so PAYE and your net CIS payments. But if you're below a certain threshold, then there's no payment to be made.
And what is that threshold? Because that would be one of the questions somebody
would ask. So it's £120,000 is the threshold. And then there's a sliding scale. So if you're below £400,000, whatever the calculation is, it's 50% of that cost. But if anyone is concerned about how much this is going to cost you, then on our website, which is citb.co.uk, there's actually a levy calculator. And you can put in your numbers in there and it will generate a number of your expected levy cost per year. But as I say, the majority of businesses are micro and small businesses, and many fall below that threshold of having to pay anything at all. And even huge number fall below the threshold of paying a very small levy. But the amount of financial incentives that are available to counterbalance whatever cost there is are phenomenal. And I'll just give you one example of that. Say, one of the best routes into the sector would be via an apprenticeship. And Nikki spoke quite eloquently about the work you do with the colleges, and there'll be apprenticeships at these colleges that you'll be working with. Well, CITB will pay a CITB registered business for a 2-year apprentice £8,500 towards the cost of that apprentice. So, and there's also finance available from the government as well. So if that apprentice is younger than 19 at the point of being employed, there's £1,000 available from the government too. So there's significant amounts of money available to those businesses. Now, many businesses that will be watching this possibly have an apprentice and haven't made a claim.
No, I think
so. That's a win-win.
I think what it is if you can imagine, they all teach us to be incredible tradespeople, don't they? But we don't really get taught how to run a business. And like me and a lot of other people, we have either dyslexia or not learning difficulties, but we struggle with paperwork sometimes, don't we? And I think that is one of the big key things, is that how do we make that journey really easy as a process with CITB, just filling out the paperwork. So how do you deal with that? Is there an easier way forward now? Is there?
Yeah, I mean, we employ human beings to support you with that.
That's nice. Instead of a chat like
absolutely. So we haven't got chat bots that will guide you through the process. For apprenticeships, we have a new team which is called the New Entrant Support Team.
Oh, that's cool.
And they are brilliant. They are hands-on, and they literally, anyone that wants to take on an apprentice, they walk you through the whole process. The paperwork
really good.
From the college, they can support you with that. The paperwork for applying for the grant from CITB, they can support you with that. If you're new to being an employer, they can put you on a mentoring course to teach you how to mentor that apprentice through to a successful apprenticeship.
That's really good.
And they're completely hands-on throughout the duration of that apprenticeship. We have a new entrant support team officer or advisor in every single geographical area across the country. And it's pretty much based on your old county structure. So you'd have one for Nottinghamshire, one for Derbyshire, and so forth.
That's good, because you never had that before. And definitely,
it's a new team. It's a brand new team. So we used to have an actual apprenticeship delivery service, which we still do for certain trades, because there's certain trades that exist across the construction industry, which are quite expensive for a FE college to deliver. So we'll deliver those for our National Construction College. But the majority of the trades, the construction trades, will be delivered directly by your local FE college. So rather than working in competition with those colleges, we now 100% are there to support those colleges, those students and the employers. And that's almost like the triage, really, in terms of those three parties are the ones that can really make a successful apprenticeship work. The students, the college, and the CITB.
Thanks, Nathan. Much appreciated. So, Nikki, what has your journey been like with all of this college? Because I think it's really, really super cool what you've been doing. So, how have you found that journey and learning through that process with obviously the students and the lecturers?
Well, when we started it, we didn't really know what to expect. So, the platform, the training platform that I built. It was all about, tweaking it at the beginning to suit the students, to suit what course they're doing, and then making it easy so we can tailor the training day to suit, that sector. And as each college has gone, as we've done each college, there's been so many different experience. So many different students, and even the lecturers as well. The lecturers are learning. There's so many things that lecturers don't know, and then they love it because they get involved as well. And some of these colleges we've returned to as well because they've loved it so much.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's like when we went to Colchester over the 2 days.
That was really, really cool.
It was, yeah. So cool. We trained over 70 students in them 2 days.
It was really funny when I was there. It was like a lot of students would come up to me and say, "Oh, Tony, why do you use this product?" I said, "The reason I use this product because as a businessman, the one thing I don't want is then suddenly having a call back a year later or 2 years later. I use the product, I'll finish with the product, I then go away, don't have to worry about it." And that's the key thing. I was saying, look, sometimes it's not worth being penny pinching. It's buying the right product, getting a really good quality product, using it, and then thinking, right, I don't have to go back there.
Yeah.
Because time is money, isn't it? As we know, in any business, isn't it? You know? So that's the key thing. And the other thing is that what we did find is that we found a lot of the students there were like kind of family members were in building and things like that. You know, how do you find that?
Yeah, so what you'll find is that some of these students, the dad is the owner of a local business, whether it's DIY, plumbing, anything like that. Yeah. And if we embed the knowledge of the products, the new technology that's out now, so their dad or brother will be using a product that they've used for 20 years and they won't budge, they won't change because they trust that product. Trying to get them to convert to another product which is a lot more superior. There's a lot of people out there who's been doing it for like 20 years who'll stick to the old school products that are solvent based. So we try and convert them from an environmental point of view as well.
Yeah. I suppose that's a really interesting point. I mean, I have to jump in here. I mean, literally, that is such a example of the culture of the construction sector, isn't it? I mean, there's no other sector like it that I can think of. Probably agriculture will probably be something like it, to be fair. Where nepotism is so rife. It's literally it's so easy to get into the construction sector if you know someone that works in the construction sector. If dad or mom or granddad or uncle works in the construction sector, they can get you in. Very easy to get in. But what about those young people who want to join the sector, whose dad or uncle or granddad or mom doesn't actually work in the construction sector? And there's some real talented people that we miss out on through that.
There's definitely loads because my understanding, I mean, do then schools and colleges or not in construction or private schools, in fact, do they really push the construction industry?
I think that.
How are you?
So
you sort of what sort of?
Yeah, so I think that we've come a long way. We've come a long way in terms of promoting construction. There's a product that we introduced when I first started with CIT, actually called Go Construct. It's a fantastic online platform that allows an individual to explore the breadth and variety of the construction sector in a really intuitive way. So, where are the young people these days? They're all online, aren't they? They've all got mobile phones, they're all on their tablets, they're all on computers, So if they want to find something out, what do? They YouTube it, don't they?
They do,
So Go Construct is all over that. So I really recommend that the listeners, or watchers, should we say, that are watching this, jump on Go Construct. Just put Go Construct into the search engine and have a look at that. And one of the tools on Go Construct, which I always recommend, is the personality quiz. So you answer 10 questions. And these 10 questions will generate a number of careers that match your personality.
Have you done it?
I've done it. I wish I'd have done this when I was like 16 years old, because this is the thing, you see, in terms of your career path. I mean, I don't mind saying I'm 46 years old, So I remember when the internet was introduced to the office where I worked, and there was one machine in the whole building. So my career choices were 100% based upon the people that I knew. And I wanted to be an electrician because my uncle drove a brand new Sierra 4x4, a white one, with big alloys, right? And that was the only reason. That was the only reason I wanted to be an electrician, because I just thought he makes a lot of money doing that, so I wouldn't mind doing that. But that was the limitations of what I could see. With platforms like Go Construct, you can see the whole industry. So you could be a designer. You could if you're good with numbers, you could be a quantity surveyor. You can work with wood. You can work with brick. You can. It's the breadth and variety of careers that are available within the construction sector are huge. We all work in construction. I never get dirty. you know, and I work in construction, you know.
I know we are getting better. It's definitely that, you know, it's compared to our Europeans or the North Americas, you know, how they have perceived the industry, and it is definitely getting better, but I don't think we still shout about it enough though, because like, you know, when you talk to the people, they're like, what is Go Construct, you know, and I think, how do we get that out there?
Well,
how do we do
I think,
that more,
I think we have been pretty good actually at that, and the proof of that are the colleges. I mean, you've been to the colleges, Nikki. They're full, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're full of young people who really want to work in construction. Some of them are linked to an employer by an apprenticeship, but the vast majority of them are on full-time diplomas.
Yeah.
And the full-time diplomas, we need to be much better at transitioning these people from the college into the sector. And that's where the employers can really help out with that.
Yeah.
And one product that CITB offer to help with that is a product called the Interwork Grant. So if you contact your local college and ask them if they have any students that are performing really well on their diploma, whatever trade that you're interested in, carpentry, joinery, brick, or whatever it might be, and you ask for a student that's performing really well who is ready for a work experience / work trial. If you host that student on a work trial, CITB will pay you £500 for 1 week for doing that. So that's you're being paid to recruit essentially. You know, you're being paid to give opportunity to talent. Yeah, you can do that 5 times per year. So 5 times per year you can do that. You can have a look at 5 different students, you know, for the year to see which one is suitable for you. At the end of that diploma, or you know, you could even transition the mid diploma onto an apprenticeship. But if you do that, we also pay you a recruitment incentive, which is £1,000. So that's £1,000 financial support to help you to recruit people that, guess what, you actually need as well. So it's a no-brainer.
What is it like? The statistic for 2025 is 325,000 more people in construction on top of what we've already got.
Close, 250 odd thousand.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's just a lot of
huge.
People, isn't it?
It's huge. I mean, I was thinking about this on the way down here actually. So I was thinking, well, what does that look like? Well, a city like Nottingham's got roughly around about 250 odd thousand people, I believe. So you're looking at the whole of Nottingham suddenly required to work in construction. It's a huge number. It's a huge number. So how do we get there? You know, all of us have to do a little bit. You know, so you know, I always say, put your hat where you can reach it. So not everyone's going to be comfortable with taking on an apprentice. All right, well, offer some work experience, just 1 week, 1 day. You know, visit the colleges like you're doing, Nikki. You know, get involved with the colleges and do a session with the students in terms of best practice. You do it as well, Tony. You go in there and you show them the best practice of how to work and all the rest of it.
This is the one thing I loved when OB1 and Nikki came up with this idea and this plan. I thought, what a great idea, because what you're then doing, you're actually then educating the students, whether they're year 1, 2 or 3. You're then showing them how to use the product correctly. And it was amazing just to see their faces, as I said earlier, just the way they're like, you can see they're like kind of soaking in like sponges on those. It's like, oh, this is really, really good. And the amount of people that turn around to us, you know, and said, oh, and they showed my boss this product because it's so much better than the product I'm using at the moment, didn't they? You know, just like, and I think for me, it's just like, it's really, really true. You get a lot of people who are very, very passionate about the industry and all the people who are in it. It's just like, it's this thing of saying, right, okay, this is great. And we then, because the other thing we did was we went round to each of the people in the actual room, didn't we? And we said, like, kind of, how did you get into the industry? Oh, you know, my mum phoned through because she said this was, and then my father phoned and stuff like that, or my granddad was in the industry. So you have all of this sort of thing of generation after generation being involved. And the one thing is, it's like Nikki said it earlier, if a person's been using our product for a certain amount of time, they don't really like change, do they? No. And the thing is that it's just the educational side, and that's why I love what OB1 are doing within the colleges and getting out in colleges. And obviously, I mean, already I think you've got about 11, 12 colleges signed already this year, haven't you, Nikki? You know, it's just like really cool.
Yeah, so it's basically, it works out at 1 a week for the next 10, 11 weeks.
Okay.
Around the whole of the UK.
We need some more Nickies.
Well, I do.
You clone yourself.
I think my work my colleagues will say that one's enough. But yeah, I mean, you know, so some of the OB1 ASMs in the team, we're training them up so they can help support. And what we've identified as well, we're speaking with the colleges, the lecturers. There's we've identified gaps in the curriculum. So I am on the board, the curriculum board of a couple of colleges.
Brilliant.
So with the curriculum boards, you've got a lot of support from companies who do apprenticeship courses, work experience. Because of the way that our company is, we can't offer that. But what we do offer is that we have a look at their curriculum and identify, you know, if there's anything that needs updating, what's not relevant anymore, what needs to be added, you know, with the plumbing course, do they actually seal a sink or a toilet or a shower? You know, just making sure that, you know, we know what goes on in the real world.
Such a good point.
Are the students learning it?
Because the other thing is, like, product changes over years, doesn't it? And gets better and better. It doesn't get worse, does it? And the great thing is like, obviously looking at their curriculum and then looking and saying, right, okay, that's the actual product that you would use there. That's the correct, you know, application. Because you do sort of see horrors, don't you? Whether it's on Instagram or whatever, and they're using the wrong product, you think, why are you using that product there? And it's really great that you do that. Now, obviously, talking about plumbing products, something that you're doing at the moment in the background with this plumbing at the moment, what's that about? Tell me about the regions and the big final that's coming up in March. What's that about?
Yeah, so we're the main sponsor of a competition called HIPS.
Yeah, okay.
So there's two sectors. So you've got the HIPS sector and the Spark sector. And there's 6 heats, so there's you know, they're in different areas of the country, and lots of colleges go to that where the students all compete against each other. And then
that's really cool, because everybody likes a little bit of competition, don't they? You know, it's really good, and it creates a great, like, kind of team spirit and banter, and you know, it's just that's really, really good. I like that.
Yeah, so there's many suppliers involved. And then what happens is that they do all these different things, and then each heat there's a winner.
That's cool.
And then everybody gets you know, prizes for if they come first or second. And then each heat goes to the final in March, which is at cool. Academy in Stafford. And then it's over 2 days, and then they find out who's the best and the winner.
So cool. Yeah.
So it's, just going back to the point you made earlier, Nikki, about the work you do with the colleges and advising them on best practices and so forth. You know, all the colleges are receptive to that. They're all receptive to that. And I think that's one of the missed opportunities that I would really want to kind of get across in this conversation, really. Is that you'll speak to construction businesses, and sometimes there's a negative perception on the skills that are produced by the college. And I always say you can be part of the solution here.
Definitely.
You know, so rather than, you know, you can complain to me if you want, because I'll happily listen to you.
People love complaining to CITB,
don't they? They do. I'll happily listen to you, right? But we can actually embed you in with that local college where you can be part of the solution. Most colleges have what are called the employer advisory boards, and that's probably what you attended, an employer advisory board. And that basically it's a group of employers that are passionate about the skills that are produced within that particular course, and they've got the solutions. You know, so they're like, well, okay, we can perhaps do this a little bit better if we do it like this. Or in terms of connecting with getting more people into the sector, use my supply chain.
Well, that's a great thing, isn't it? If you're actually talking to people who are actually at the coalface, which is so much better to talk to people, because then obviously they're given the right advice and obviously make sure then when they come up with the right curriculum to actually then implement it within what they're actually doing.
I mean, if you look at like, you know, these are practical, typically for construction, practical training. You know, so you know, you have to be able to do something at the end of this course to be valuable, right? So how do you do that? Well, you can do it in an artificial environment, which is a classroom, you know, and you can practice all you want in there. But in order to actually really become confident and good at something, you've got to do it in a pressurized situation, haven't you? You know, and that's really where the work experience and having those employees involved really come into their own.
But I think that's like everything, isn't it? It's like the more you practice and the better you become, with anything.
Absolutely.
And I think, that's where you then sort of have a tradesperson who's sort of been in the trade 5 years or 10 years, just they've got that much more experience and knowledge. And the one thing I always advocate is what OB1 are doing at the moment is that they're like kind of looking at the future tradespeople and saying, right, okay, there's this product out there, we're coming along, we're sharing this experience, and then actually showing the product. And really that's why I'm massively an advocate of what they're doing, because for me as a businessman, I said earlier, it's just the one thing I don't want to be doing is going back to a project where I've been a year ago and then having to resort all out, whether it's a sealant or a silicone or an adhesive, where suddenly then it's going to cost me more money going back. And I think that's really, really powerful. But the other lovely thing is then you suddenly see how they're actually using the product and then learning. It's just great to see that smile on their face.
It's that, isn't it? Because it's either, if something hasn't been installed right, it's either the wrong product or bad installation of that product. Yeah?
It's really
and both are crucially important. I mean, you can have the most expensive kitchen in the world.
Yeah, if it's not fitted.
If it's not fitted right,
that's it.
It might as well be the cheapest kitchen in the world.
Because it's really funny. We all love to suddenly show all the things that haven't been done right, but we should be like having like a portal saying these are all the things that have been done wonderfully, done really, really well.
And I suppose it's going back to the whole college situation, and you described it really well there, Tony, in terms of we have to practice stuff to get good at stuff, right? And I think that we have to remember our own journey. Like no one went into their job on day one and was any good, In fact, I would actually say that most people on the day one are a liability.
It's definitely a liability.
Absolutely. So I think when I first started with CITB, and I went into my first meeting with an employer, and I had all the things I wanted to talk to the employer about. And I realised I knew nothing. So I said, right, let me put that down. Let me just listen for a little while. And that's the thing. Like you've got to be able to have that understanding and give that young person the opportunity to grow. And build their confidence, because you can actually put them off quite easily by being quite hard with where they should be, because you believe that the college should have got them to this stage by the time that you saw them, where you can be part of that solution by helping to get them to that stage.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think the biggest thing is trying to get the employers involved with the colleges as soon as possible, because that's just going to empower then these relevant students within that college, which then, like a great example, we'll go in and do educational stuff. We've sent quite a few of our lads into the colleges, and then we've encouraged them to come to site. And that's why what Nick is doing, I think, is absolutely brilliant, because it's just creating that like kind of knowledge and empowering them. So how does the future and what's the vision for OB1 moving forward?
Just to keep on evolving. Our vision, we focus on what we call the 3 Qs. So it's the quality of the product, the quality of the customer, and the quality of the service. And it's always about the after service as well. So we don't just, we're not just a one-hit wonder. We always ensure that, regardless of who the customer is, we look after them.
Yeah, that's really good, because customer service is a big key thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So even it's from a technical point of view, from evolving, what they need. So it's identifying gaps, what they need, and not what we want. So it's always about the customer and making sure that we advise on the correct product.
I think that's such good advice for any business. I mean, there's so many businesses that their ego gets in the way of the business, actually.
Yeah, it does.
So definitely. I mean, there's one of the things that we educate our team is you've got to put the employer, the business, at the centre of the conversation. We have a whole load of products and services in CITB, and I would never wish to bore you with all those products, because it would be a boring conversation. I'll be talking about stuff that you might not be interested in. But if you lead with the employer in terms of what's your aspirations, what are you trying to achieve, what are your missed opportunities, do you miss out on work because you haven't got enough people? Do you miss out on work because you haven't got enough of the people with the right skills? Do you miss out on work because you haven't got enough people with project management skills, that can manage multiple projects at the same time? So these are open-ended questions that we'll be asking these businesses.
Yeah.
And the results of that is, okay, now these are some of the potential solutions that you can consider based on what we understand is your skills need. And that's, basic terms, training needs analysis. We do those every single time with our employers, and that's probably one of our key offers. Really, is it's not about us. No. It's about you. Yeah. It's about your business and where you want to get to.
I think if that's the case, I mean, the biggest thing is how do we source that information? Obviously you go onto your portal. Is it like an easy journey then through that process? Because I know. One of the things that I hear sometimes is just like, oh, we're getting there, they're a little bit lost. And I think it's great that I've got this new team that are out there within the regions helping the employer, because I think that's like kind of be able to take people on that journey. But then because we all come out of the education system, we're not educated very well. Well, I was anyway, but and I think the thing is having people like that to actually educate the employers to say, right, okay, here you go. We're here to help you, this is what we can do for you.
Okay, so what I would say with that is we will work around how you work. Yeah. Yeah. So some businesses, they're techie and they're happy to explore a website and do the research themselves. If they get stuck, they can ask a question via an email or something like that. And they're happy in working that way. I would suggest the majority of small construction businesses actually want to speak to a human being. Right,
100%. I sort of definitely. The one thing for me is just like I pick up the phone and talk to somebody. The one thing I don't want to do is talk to a computer or somebody who doesn't really know what's going on about the industry, sort of thing.
So we have our new entrant support team, and that's about recruitment of new entrants, apprenticeships and whatnot into your business. Yeah. But then we have our general advisors, so our CITB advisors, and that's the team that I represent actually, the advisor team. And for every geographical area, there is an advisor that manages that area. Yeah. And each advisor typically has roughly 1,000 businesses to look after. Yeah,
that's a lot.
It's a lot of businesses. But actually, if you divide the working weeks and the working days by the number of businesses, it works out to be approximately about 3 or 4 conversations a day. So it's doable. It's definitely doable. But it also means you have to answer the phone. So if we phone you, answer the phone. We're not trying to get any money from you. we are going to be trying to support you, right? Yeah. So that's the first thing. But if you're interested in how you can develop your business, if you're interested in seeing what's available, then you can actually be proactive and you can actually go on the website yourself and just type in local advisor. Yeah. And then your local advisor will be listed on that webpage. So that's citb.co.uk, local advisor. The number will be there, the email address will be there. If you phone that person will be over the moon to hear from you, because guess what? You'll be on the list and you've saved them a job of trying to track you down. And that's when we kick into that training needs analysis question.
I think that's that thing, isn't it? Because obviously, like myself, it's just would I have the time to do that? It's just, would I have the inclination to do that? Because my mindset is in a certain way, and I think that's the big key thing is educating people out there that actually it's now completely changed from how it was. We're here now to support you and do it in any way that we can.
So I would ask you how much your time's worth, right?
Oh, it's worth thousands. I mean, it.
there you go. So one of the products that we have is called the Skills and Training Fund. Yeah. Now, for a business that employs less than 50 employees, they can access £5,000 twice a year, to support on the training needs bespoke to their business. So that training analysis conversation that we have, that will list a number of training opportunities that we think will be suitable for you and your business. For you, the leader of your business, the manager of your business, and also your employees, and also potential new recruits that you might take on, right? So there's typically going to be £10,000 available every single year, currently, every single year, for you to have that training funded 100%. So zero cost to you, 100%. That conversation can probably take about 15 minutes to get to the point when you've got that answer. So I would suggest that conversation, which is 15-minute conversation, could be worth £10,000. Now, the interesting point about that, though, is that sometimes some of these businesses are actually already planning to do that training.
Yeah.
So they have a budget which they've allocated, which has come out of the profits that the business has made, and they've said, we want to develop our business in this way over the next year, and we've identified these courses to do.
So tell me about this £10,000. What can it actually fund? What trades?
Yeah, so it can fund construction-related training,
right? Okay.
Construction health and safety training,
yeah.
and also crucially leadership and management training,
wow, okay.
which is one of the biggest challenges for the construction sector. We've spoke about this off camera before, Tony. Yeah. Where we talked about the reluctant leaders that exist within the construction sector.
Yes.
They're just good at their trade, and
yeah.
suddenly, lo and behold, a few years later, they actually end up running a business.
Yes.
But then no one's trained them how to be a leader or a manager within that business.
That's so true.
So this is something that CITB can pick up and help that business to actually grow and develop, in a controlled way.
So it's really quite interesting, and obviously you can get that funding to obviously do those relevant trades, and then obviously the key thing is that nobody actually trains you to run a business. In colleges they teach us how to be an amazing tradespeople, don't they? And very kindly you guys get involved and show us how to use all of your adhesives and skeleton guns and things like that. So the thing is that the different courses that you do to educate then the people who are looking to set up a business, you have all of these things in process, all of these plans.
Yeah, so in terms of leadership and management, we are not trying to replicate what the market already offers. Yeah. So there's various leadership and management courses that exist.
Yeah.
A Prince 2 course is a prime example, project management course. The universities offer a range of leadership and management courses. Yeah. What we can offer in CITB is the finance to allow you to do those courses.
Okay.
And that's the crucial thing. So the way I see it is that if we all adopt this mindset of continuous learning,
growth, isn't it, really?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's what is a business? Well, a business is a group of people that have a skill set that are working together to achieve a goal.
Yeah.
If you can increase that skill set, then you make a much more efficient business, and essentially you can move to a point where you're not actually in the business, but you're leading the business.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where we want to take people to.
No, that's really, really good. I like the idea where the CITB are actually using that 10,000 fund to be able to do that. I think that's really empowering to a lot of people who want to grow their business and get the right education and stuff like that.
But there's two options in terms of developing the workforce that CITB offer. The one is that strategic fund, which is called the Skills and Training Fund, which is the £5,000 times 2, for the year. It's £10,000, and that's a strategic fund. So what you have to be able to do in that instance is be able to plan ahead for the next 12 months. To say, next 12 months, I intend to do these courses here. CITB can have some money, please. There you go.
That's
go ahead and do it. The other one is more for those businesses who are reactive.
Yeah.
So they are unsure about what they want to do, but they want to be able to have support with booking training and paying for said training at the point when they need it.
Yeah.
We've got a new product called the Employer Network, and that's exactly what our advisors will do. So you as a business would contact the advisor and say, I would like to put a few of my employees on a manual handling course or a working at heights course or a Prince 2 course, whatever it might be. The advisor would source that course for you, pay for that course, and there's a sliding scale depending on type of course between 70% and 100% of the cost of the course. And all you have to do is attend. Simple as that. You
That's
just
really,
attend.
really good.
So these are the kind of products that CITB are introducing just to take away the hassle of understanding training for the business. So we're here to help.
I think the biggest thing is just empowering people, isn't it? That's the key thing. So Nikki, so the thing is with OB1 that I really love about OB1 is that the company is massively grown over the last 5 years, and what you have this thing where you're actually not a white label company, as I would call it. You're actually massively in control of all of your R&D, so tell me a little bit more about that, because obviously it'd be great for the people to understand out there that you are involved massively with your products in a big way.
Yeah, so we're actual manufacturers of our products.
Yeah.
So we start everything from the beginning. So it's like the life cycle of a product.
Yeah.
So we have a look at what formula we need, what technology, who wants it, who's been asking for it, and then we make that product come alive. So it's like the birth of the product. So we do, we support whoever's asking for this product, doing the artwork, the legalities on it, looking at specifications. So it all depends on, if it's a housing association, where they have like certain products that they can use. Are we suitable? The emissions on the product, we do all these different testings to make sure that we make the right products for all the different end users out there.
And that's basically, that's really, really cool that you have complete involvement of the product from day date until actually release the product and then actually consumer using it.
Yeah, and actually knowing the life cycle of a product and being involved in it is fantastic. There's been a few products that we've launched over the past 12 months where I've been involved right from the beginning, and it really is fascinating. And because we're manufacturers and we're in control of what we do, the original timeline that our business development manager had when we first when we first came to the UK, is that his 5-year plan turned into a 3-year plan.
Wow.
The 8-year plan turned into a 5-year plan. Because it's just massive,
The growth is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So we're at the point now where at the end of 2024, we actually hit the 10 million mark, which is an amazing experience. Amazing achievement.
That's so
and
cool.
we can't achieve that without the guys at head office, the guys in marketing, R&D, our plants that make the products, and the guys on the road. I mean, our OB1 team are absolutely fantastic.
I've got to say, I love your OB1 team because they're just like really involved, they're really passionate about the product, they believe in the product in a big way, they're like massively getting involved with all of the students. Even when we do all the shows with you guys, it's just such a great team event.
We're unique.
Which is key,
We are unique. So the way that Marty recruits, I always make a joke of this, is that he'll interview individuals just like the lineup in Usual Suspects, and he'll pick out the unique people. And it works.
No, it really does. I've got to say, your team is amazing, and I do love that because they've just got so much energy and so much passion. And I think that you don't have to sell the product at all because it's just all that passion and everything just does it, doesn't it? For me, just like so. I think it's really, really cool.
I think we stand out from other suppliers, like when they're chatting with customers and talking about products, we actually show them live. We believe in our products and we'll show you everything, how it works. We get the customer involved, we get staff involved, trained up, having a go at the products, and it's a wow factor.
No, it's really, really cool. I think the actual OB1 product for us is just like every time we've used it, it's always sort of done what it says on the back of the tin, as I would always say. It's sort of, and it's just an absolute brilliant product. So tell us what the relevant products that you released in the last 12 months and what have you got like kind of in the future.
Right, okay, well, what we've done over the past couple of years is that we've evolved with the OB41 range, which is a technical aerosol range. So you've got, there's like 11, 12 different SKUs.
Yeah, there was great products when it got launched a couple of years ago, wasn't it? So
so you can find that in many national places in the UK. Last year we launched our very first silicone range called OB21. So you can see the theme here of all the different numbers. And we've also launched a range called BioBase. So it's like biomaterials in it for any customer out there who's really focused on the environment and sustainability.
That's cool.
As part of our company as well, because we're manufacturers, we were the first company in the UK to launch part recycled cartridges.
That's really, really good because it's like, I think everybody needs to be thinking about that, don't they? Really?
So we're hoping now, we're at 30% at the moment, so we're going to
cool.
be moving to 50, and then hopefully by the end of the year we'll be at 80% part recycled.
That's really good.
The country's not ready yet to move over to the foil sausages, so our strategy is to do it step by step. So we're doing our parts in the country, with like carbon zero, emissions, your carbon footprints, virgin plastic, the what's actually in the formulas of the products. So we do look at all different aspects.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean it's such
future
an important
thinking, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like kind of, that's what I really love about OB1. It's just like it's just this whole vision and whole belief in, and I think that's really key in any company. If you've got like a lot of passion, a lot of belief, and like kind of a lot of like kind of integrity about what you're trying to do, is really, really important, and that's what you guys absolutely smash out of the park. You know?
I mean that whole net zero challenge, is huge right now, isn't it? Particularly for the construction sector. It's one of the highest polluting sectors in the UK. I think we're at 40% or something like that.
Yeah, it is a high number. I was shocked actually. I was like, wow, that's a lot.
It's huge. So the amount of the carbon footprint that we have is humongous. But that's also an opportunity.
Yes.
And the opportunity exists for businesses to diversify into different parts of the market. And we're all over that. So if anyone's interested in what those opportunities look like, we've just created a toolkit which is available on our website.
Oh, that's cool.
Called the Net Zero Toolkit.
I hope OB1's on there.
Use your influence. So I mean, it's what is net zero? It's the commitment that.
What does it look like?
Yeah, it's the commitment that the government made 2050 to become carbon neutral as a nation. Yeah. So what does the construction sector have to do in order to do that? What's our responsibility? What's the opportunity? The opportunity 100% is around that retrofit, isn't it?
It is, definitely. That's the biggest area to hit.
It's huge. I mean, it's huge. I mean, I saw a stat that 95% of the carbon will be coming from the existing housing stock and the building stock. There's a huge opportunity to insulate these homes, to put in new heating systems in these homes, to install solar panels and all the rest of it. And there will be, no doubt, some grant funding available from the government for contractors to actually do that work. But there are requirements around that with qualifications and whatnot.
But that's the same as anything, isn't it? Anytime you want like a certain grant, you've got to then, if you're installing something, you've got to have the right paperwork in place. So you make sure you get the grant. Yeah, so there's the accreditation, and people that have already started this journey will be aware of the PAS 2030 and PAS 2035. I hope I've got those numbers right. I don't know. It sounded all right.
Yeah, it sounds good anyway, doesn't it? But those two are exactly it. Okay. So they're the accreditation that's required in order to be qualified to do the installation. And also the second one, PAS 2035, is to actually assess the building's requirements in terms of diagnose what actual retrofit this is suitable for this house, because they're all different. Just like human beings, if you put the wrong sort of solution on a house, you actually cause problems like damp and mold and whatnot.
Definitely that.
So you've got to think about doing things correctly. Again, to your point, the right products and the right training to install it correctly. So really important. But that toolkit, and I think we should put a link in this chat, to the toolkit, and anyone interested can have a look at that and find out more about that. And within that toolkit as well, there's a list of training that's available, and the financial support from CITB that's available to help you to do that training as well. So it's really useful.
Cool. That's really
but ties into what you were saying, Nikki, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So guys, massive thank you to Nathan, much appreciated. That's really kind of you to come in. Nikki, massive thank you for you coming in. So any questions that you guys have got, definitely put them down below. Nathan and Nikki will absolutely answer them, and any queries that you've got. All the links will be down below as well. So, job done.
Job done.